Have you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's a Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
G'day and welcome to the Sunday wrap-up. As usual, I'm Daz and I've got my co-host here, Bonners, the brains of the show apparently. He's going to tell you he's the greatest tipster shortly going around, and I've even put it up on my profile, Bonners, today. Worst tipster ever.
Because you're not willing to go against your heart. You're easily manipulated. It's just a lot easier to now. I know why your wife married you. So
well, I like to go against the odds, the underdogs. I have received a message already from JD's mum, Jules, said, "Do not tip us."
Yeah,
so
I'm happy to do it because I was spot on all the way through.
Yeah, well, you got one wrong on the weekend.
Yeah, I did.
The only tip you got wrong.
Yeah, and then look at magnificent from Greensboro. Was if like you're looking at finals and such, the closeness of the finals. I mean, it was a 50-50 all the way through, and from all accounts, I wasn't able to get to see it today, but from all accounts, close all the way through. Goal kicking might have been the end result, but Greensboro get to fight another day. Hurstbridge go back and work out what they need to do to go further next year.
Yep, 100%. Well, we're going to jump straight into it. This should be a nice, short, sharp show tonight because there wasn't so many games, but let's just jump into it straight away. Montmorency, North Heidelberg the other day, Division 1. So Montmorency 9-14-68. So not the straightest kicking, but 9-14-68 got it over North Heidelberg 7-7-49. So 19-point win. Pretty convincing there by Montmorency. Very windy out there it was the other day. Preston City Oval. Bonners, you know that ground is as good as any. It was tough conditions.
Yeah, and I love the ground to death, but in a bad wind, I guess it always seems to blow downhill. So away from the Preston market, it can blow into the forward pocket, but it's almost impossible sometimes to kick towards the Preston market when it is really that bad. So I remember playing an under-18 game against Trent Crow. He kicked a drop punt from the wing and hit the top of the backboard. That's how strong the wind went. So, it comes down to, on these type of days, it always comes down to how well you kick and, take your opportunities. So it is definitely the one place that if you don't take your opportunities with the wind, it will come back to bite you.
We've learned, Bonners, this final season so far that you drop your first game, it's a long way home. And, North Heidelberg had a few laid outs there. Boomer Harvey was unavailable, and they had another player, sorry, it's not coming to the top of my head, that was unavailable, but that's opportunity presents. Montmorency have showed they're absolutely fair income, and maybe it's time to shake those September hoodoos they've got, but they look very strong. And how do they kick straight, or it would have been a huge margin?
Yeah, and, coming into finals, I think now they get the opportunity to test themselves against the best next week. And, stranger things have happened, get straight into a grand final. And the difference between losing a qualifying final and winning a qualifying final is just that an understanding you have the opportunity now to go straight into a grand final where when you lose a qualifying, you go back into the first semi-final, you then have to fight your way back into a prelim. And then go again. So, it's a massive winner qualifying final. As much as an elimination final, it just gets you a little bit closer to the, to the desired land.
Well, as you say, that sets up Heidelberg versus Mont next week for a spot in the grand final, and North Heidelberg will take on Greensey. So we'll go to the Greensey game now. Greensey managed to get the job done today over Hurst Bridge in an absolute thriller. So, I mean, I watched that game. I didn't go, but I was following it on social media all day. I think I've actually got the wrong score up there, so just ignore that. But I was following it all day. And Hurstbridge led the whole day, so it must have come down to the last minute or so. If someone knows what happened there, feel free to send a comment in. But I looked, and you keep updating, and all of a sudden, Greensey were in front. So well done to Heidi and the boys down there, because that's a huge. They finished fifth. They've had to do it the hard way after dropping a couple of games, but they are the side that knocked off Heidelberg as well, Bonners. So, they're still alive. Great season by Hurstbridge, not to be this year, but they will take a lot of positives out of that as well that season.
Yeah, half time, I think Greensey were up just by about 4 points or so. So it was back and forth. It's what we expected from the game, from the onset. Massive shout out to Heidi and Robbie Shaw. Robbie Hyde, trying just getting them into the finals in the first place, and then you actually find your way forward. So sometimes having an elimination final to get into the finals gets you that start to finals atmosphere. So they go on next week. They play North Heidelberg and another 50-50 game. So it's anyone's game next week. And you hope all the boys from Northcote Park boys can get up. Boomer can be back and have a cracking contest next week. I'm assuming that's a Sunday game. So they'll have the second semi on the Saturday. We'll confirm that. So, but
I've got that all up here. So we'll talk next week.
Usually the way the highest teams tend to get the Saturday.
Not North Park either, Bonners. It's
North Heidelberg. I'm going right tonight. I can't even get anyone's name right. But we need that. But it was a 50-50 game. Kick straight, win at the end. You only have to be at the in front at the end of the game. It doesn't matter if you're not in front for the rest of the game.
We've learned that, haven't we? This year.
So it's never over till the end of scores. I mean, Thomastown made a finals in the last 35 seconds of the home and away series. So, you have to play to the siren, you get the job done, you move on to next week, and you go back to training.
Well, let's go to Division 2, because this was an absolute ball terror, Bonners. Whittlesea 11-11-77 went down to South Morang 12-10-82. You tipped it. I tipped Whittlesea. I thought at the start of the season Whittlesea or Diamond Creek would be the sides to beat, but mate, this is why it says up there, worst tipster ever. South Morang's come out and they came from behind as well, so they had to really work hard at it. Josh Lansfield, 5 goals as well, so fantastic. I had a couple of spies at that game, and they told me that the Calpacas boys were fantastic, just impenetrable. They were just amazing, and that's what you got to do. And then so you've got your forward line sorted with Josh Lansfield, and you've got obviously Calpacas up there. You've got apparently Stefan Ali played fantastic. Liam Jolly played fantastic. And then you get to the back line and you got the Calpacas boys that you can't get past. And that's why they're there. And, there's been all this talk, which is, I had a look today, Bonners, on my on our stats. The VFL commentary is already one of our most interacted things of the years. There's been over 14,000 interactions on that comment, shared, posted, comments, whatever. But, it is a sticky point. Who cares? We get on with it because South Morang are in a grand final.
Absolutely, and well-deserved too. I think I put on there that one of my comments was you just underestimate sometimes. Sometimes boys need a game back to get used to the competition. But these guys are out, they're firing. I also said on last week, said it to Kane Proctor, that having the week off sometimes is that it's just that expectation goes up a bit higher. And when you've got 3 teams so close, having that continuity of playing, it can't be understated. So, maybe that in part comes from the fact that South Morang played last week, but Whittlesea will, rebound, go back next week and, face off against Diamond Creek after after they come off a big win. But, your top 3 sides, you're not going to be surprised if any of the 3 get into the grand final. South Morang have made it, second year up from 3rd division. So, massive shout out to South Morang and the boys there.
I think that the one thing we can take out of this is it's been a fantastic competition this season, Bonners. Sure. It's been so hard to pick. I'd like to think I have some little idea about football, but I can't pick it. Every week seems to be going another way, which is a good testament that the competition's in really good shape. Just to confirm, those final scores were Greensborough 7-11, 53 to Hurstbridge 6-13, 49. And the reason I brought that up again is because it's your bugbear about kicking. Now, you turn that the other way. Hurstbridge might argue they could have had this wrapped up at three-quarter time if it had a kick 13-6. And I know it was a very windy day, and also Greensborough kicked a few points, but this is the time of year where that accuracy should be sorted, isn't it, really?
It's the difference between going out in the first round of finals and going through to the next round. I mean, no matter, we can jump around it, people can say different things, but the reality is if you don't kick straight, as I said, I'm a Brisbane supporter. Like, if anyone knows it off by heart why they shouldn't kick goals, that you can't miss. Football's about moments, and you may not get a kick all day, but if you get the opportunity,
fair enough, Lisa. Absolutely.
But if you get the opportunity during the day to have your shot at goal, that's what you've got to take. You have to take your opportunities, or 6-13. I know it's only 2 points, but what did they lose by, 4 or something like that? So you lose by 4 points, that's one straight kick. One of those points becomes a goal, you win the game.
Before we jump off South Morang, I've tried to do a fair bit of research that I can find absolutely no history of South Morang ever playing in Division 1. So if they do get up, it'll be their first time up there. The other thing that I've found is only 5 sides have ever managed to go from Division 3 to Division 1 in the history of the league. So that will definitely put Gary Hall in elite coach status, surely.
Oh, for sure.
He's already amazing, but this would be a whole nother level.
Let's just give to the club in general. I mean, you come up from Divi 2, you contest in your first year up, and then you get the opportunity. You're in a grand final, so you're only one of 2 teams that can go into Divi 1. And let me tell you, they go up to Divi 1 the way they've gone into Divi 2, 3 to Division 2. You go up to Divi 1, I can't see them being any less competitive. I just feel like that they're one of those teams that once they get up there, the way they've got their structure, the boys, the Kalpakis boys, you've got, JD, a few of the other younger boys coming through, they've kept their young list. So these guys only get better and more experienced as they go forward. So, they're a team.
We spoke about this earlier. You got Fitzgerald, who's a 1-pointer at South Morang. Cookson's a 1-pointer, and they're both products of South Morang. All of a sudden, you get a few of those guys that may eventually return home and help the club stay up there. I'm not saying necessarily straight away. Cooks is as embedded as possible at Hurstbridge, but I mean they have produced a lot of good kids. South Morang. There's no taking away from that. Let's talk Diamond Creek. The next game. This one was a rout, as we thought it would be. 13-10-88 Diamond Creek against Lower Plenty. Defeated them 2-5-17. Look, if I'm Lower Plenty, I'm putting a big tick on the season because, we thought they would be down the bottom, and they have really produced something special. So absolutely hats off to Lower Plenty. I thought you've done a fantastic job this year. You should be very, very proud of yourself. And to the Creekers, my opinion, Matty, the other day we spoke about this at the studio, is that they had to come out and decimate them to be able to be considered still, a flag favourite. I mean, for me, they are still pre-season. They were flag favourites for me. They're going to be hard to knock off, but they've got to get there yet. They've got to get there against a pretty upset Wilsey, who Gary Ramsey's not known for laying down and copping it. He's going to be as fired up. This is going to be a ripper game.
Yeah, and as I think we've gone through it all year, you look at the top 3 teams in Divi 2, there's a big mullet, shall we say, between 3 and 4, and it's shown up that Diamond Creek did exactly what we expected them to do. We didn't think it was going to be a close game, and that's nothing against Lower Plenty, but just the superiority of the top 3 teams. It's, you'd love to play each other once and, or twice and just see who wins out of the 3 of them together. They're all deserving, but as we know in football, mate, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you earn. So, Diamond Creek would also get the opportunity to face South Morang, who earned the opportunity to play in a grand final.
I got down Bonners because it's a junior comp, the 19s. I won't mention the name, but I went down and watched Diamond Creek take on North Heidelberg in a cracker game, a cracker game. The lead changed 4 times in the last 4 minutes. That's how good a game it was to decide the game. Unfortunately, and I said, I just won't say his name because he's a young bloke. Their fella up forward went up, took one of the best marks I've seen of strength, and unfortunately, I understand he's broken his leg in one or two places. And we just, from a footy show perspective, wish him the very best recovery. Heartbreaking. I did see him on the green whistle, though. I think the pain was taken care of once he was into that green whistle, but poor bugger. And it was such a strong mark. Fantastic kid. I've seen him a couple of times this year, and my heart goes out to him because you play all year for this time of year. So best of luck to him. We won't say his name because it's under 19s, but yes, very, very best of recovery for you, mate. It was a very courageous mark as well. Okay. So that was pretty impressive, but then we have to speak about Old Paradians v Mernda. 17-12 Old Paradians, 114. Good kicking, 17-12. You'd be happy with that, Bonners. And they took care of Mernda, which ended their season 7-11-53. You tipped Old Paradians. I've stuck fat with Mernda all year, and I thought they had the skill. I thought they had the players to do it. Oh, my God, Soups has come on. Bonner's got it right. Come on, Soups. Do it to me, mate.
Man's a smart man.
Keeper, Soups, too. Good wicket keeper. It's probably wasn't as good as me, but not a bad keeper. Good backup if I was injured. But sorry, Soups, you supported Bonners. I can't have that. What I take out of that is, well, let me put it to you. Is it a fail or a pass for Mernda this year?
If you're the coach,
or you're the president,
find it a pass because you got into a preliminary final against two quality opposition. I feel like this year everything that could go against Mernda did. Nipper goes down first week.
Very good point.
You lost a big fella.
You're reading my notes.
No, but it is. For me, it's a pass, but it doesn't mean that you're happy with it. You don't sit there and you're not content with it. They were really flying this year, but geez, they've come up, you come up against Vaffa side under Benny Turner. You've got, Sammy Gilmore goes down there. The Gilmore boys dominate. You've got, Fitzroy Stars that are stacked as well. So it's by no means a failure of a season, but I know, knowing Fletch, it'll be like, all right, we've lost. Now we have a bit of a rest and we'll go again. And we have to find ways to get to that next level. So, and to Old Paradians, from the first time I saw Old Paradians play Fitzroy Stars, I sat there and thought, this is the grand final. And to me, it's exactly what I expected from that time on. I think Mernda have done a great job with all the injuries and the imbalance and stuff that they've had. But sometimes you need one thing in football, and that's luck. And I just don't think they've had any this year.
So when I was last night, I'll be honest with you, at the end of it, I thought it's a bit of a fail for them. Yeah. And then I really thought about it. I thought, hang on a second. He's put so much time, Fletch, into guys like Lincoln Coffey. He's put so much time into the other youth there, and there's quite a few of them, the young Joel Harris. He's put a lot of time into these kids for the future of the club. You can't build Rome in a day. Yes, they lost by a kick last year, and this year, the toughest Division 3 ever. So I give Mernda a big tick despite this, despite the loss. And I agree, they didn't get a full season of Billy Morrison. They didn't even get 5 games out of him, really, and he's probably not 100% still. Mazzarella had an outstanding finals campaign as well, so he'll hold his head up high. I think a lot of the boys, the experienced boys, will say Yankos was in the best again yesterday. I think Nip apparently had a great game yesterday, but you've come up against a side like Old Paradians who didn't miss a beat and kicked dead straight yesterday. They jumped them, and I think that's where the game probably got won there. So it's still a big tick for me. Despite that, I thought it was 10
goals second quarter. 10 goals second quarter.
That's
just
tough
can't beat that. But as I said, and they've recruited well, but no doubt they'll go out and look for some more. But we understate what Sam Gilmore does for, Old Paradians. I mean, this is
overrated.
Premiership player at Heidelberg, captain of a footy club of the Division 1 domination, comes down to third division as, not just a rover, but one of the big men of the Division 3. Yeah, they're very, very hard. Anyone in Div 1 finds it hard to cover him. I mean, you go to Division 3, it's a lot harder. So, and we just can't understate. And then you get 2 of them.
Connors, I've just got a personal text. It's from your wife. She said, "Why did you give Matt a better camera? I prefer to look at him when he's a bit fuzzy." So I don't know what happened, Catherine. I'll sort it out.
Yeah.
We'll get
doubt,
it removed. Now, let's talk about a couple other things before we give the wrap up for the games as well for next week. Is Wednesday night Bonners is massive. I've spent 95% of my Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday and Sunday getting everything ready for the show. It's been sold out for a long time. There's 130 people confirmed coming. Going to be a massive night. We've got the side of yesteryear, which we are all decided now by a fantastic selection panel. That's going to get announced on the night. The side of today, that's going to get announced on the night. I've had the luxury of speaking to a couple of people on the phone with invitations, and it's been well received, Bonners. Really well received.
Yeah, it's been, and then you put the coaches on me, but you have to go back
good decisions. I know who the coaches are. I know you selected them, and I got to tell you, you could have selected 6 guys. Really, I mean, there's so many good
coaches. Currency, doesn't it? It'll always come down to the currency of coaches, of premierships, games played, teams coached. It's a bloody hard thing to sing. You could throw a blanket over it. So, but for me, there was 2 standouts. So always going to be 2 standouts in that coaching division.
Well,
so
don't say it. Save it for the
night.
No,
I won't. But just looking forward to it on Wednesday night. It's and a big shout out to everyone who's been with us all year. I mean, we're excited. This show doesn't go ahead this Wednesday is this big without all the people that have followed us. The over 2,000 people that watch us every week. The high amounts. I mean, these are 2 guys just talking local footy. We love our football. We love the actual local footy. We both played in the competition. So to everyone who's, this will be next week. Wednesday will be our last Wednesday show. So to everyone who's actually reached out, put on the comments, had a bit of fun. That's what this show's about. So we can't thank you guys enough in the first season, and we look for bigger and better things next year.
No, definitely, and we'll get the format improved a little bit. We've learned a lot ourselves, so that's a huge night. We'll the focus of the night is obviously our yesteryear. So we have about 15 other awards we're handing out across all divisions, and a couple of real special, unique things you and I have worked on. So we're not trying to compete with the NFNL awards. We love and respect what they are. These are our awards, which is fine. Now, I've had a chat with Nick McCole, who's performing live, and I've had a chat also with Jamie Churchill, who's a good mate of mine. And those boys are not only is Jamie coming to do the theme song that he wrote for us, he's also going to do 1 or 2 other songs. But him and Nick, I've married them up. And they are going to do Up There Kazali for us to open the night, which is going to be fan-bloody-tastic to get both those boys on. I spoke to Nick the other day, a Hursty boy who played today. So he will be on. That's going to be fantastic. We'll be in there doing sound check all day, getting everything sorted. So really, really pumped for that. All right, now let's talk about games next week. So Heidelberg Montmorency for a spot in the grand final. Who's your tip, Bonners? Because we're not going to get to speak too much about this next Wednesday night.
Yeah, let's do this now. I think Heidelberg win by about 5-6 goals minimum. So I just think these guys are primed for finals football. So you get Monty, who have been cracking all year. They've really been pushing it, but it's a 5-6 goal game for me.
At the risk of getting stabbed by Vin Detoli on Wednesday night, I am going to go they've got Nash Holmes to come back from suspension this week. I think this is a 2-point game, and I reckon Mont turn their luck around and they get up, and Heidelberg do it the long way. But it's going to be a ripper game either way, so I'm glad we don't agree. But then again, have a look. I am the worst tipper ever. That's at Saturday. That's Saturday at Preston, Bonners. I can confirm that. Then on Sunday at Preston, we have North Heidelberg Greensboro, who will play. The winner will go on and play the loser of Heidelberg Mont. That's also going to be a cracker game. North's probably just a little inconsistent for their liking up down. Their good's amazing, and the next one's just a fraction down. But I can tell you now, Jason Heatley's not going to want to end his coaching career with anything but a premiership, and that's going to be a ripper game. The Hyde versus Heatley, you couldn't build that up bigger, could you? That's going to be a cracker. But the season will end for one of those 2 next Sunday night. So Heaters will be there Wednesday night as well. So it's going to be fantastic, and we will get to have a chat. Division 2, Diamond Creek, Whittlesea.
Have you picked
Look at this.
who's going to win?
Look at my friend just come on here. Jules has personally texted me and told me the same thing. Jules, I don't know if I can do it, but $50 might sort that out. But
Did you pick the Monty? Who you pick out of North Heidelberg and Greensey?
For me, I think North Heidelberg get that done. Yeah, I think North Heidelberg by 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I actually think I think Greensey are well primed, and as I said, the inconsistency. I saw the game, the last game, North Heidelberg and Greensboro had them really well. So I actually think they'll get up, but only just, and it'll be another close game. So I think Greensey get up by about 5 points.
Yep, Soups is right. Division 3 is just becoming a prime division, isn't it? It's just getting better and better. I reckon it's going to be the hardest one to get out of because it's
also too gives it good. The teams that come up from Divi 2 now, Divi 3 to Divi 2 will become a lot more competitive. It's not going to be that big change. It's going to that we've known for years. The teams that go up come down. They're well primed now to go better.
Tell me, Bonners, Diamond Creek versus Whittlesea for a spot in the GF on at Epping. Who gets this one done next Saturday, mate? You tell me.
I've said since pre-season, and you know, I actually think Diamond Creek South Morang was the grand final. I think I said that earlier in the year. I've got one part there. There's something about Diamond Creek this year that have just impressed me so much. With Andrew Tranquilli and the boys, I just feel like that they're coming about. Nothing against Whittlesea, but I just see I can just get the feeling that Diamond Creek will win within probably two goals maximum.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, as I said, another 50-50 game, heads or tails. But I'm not going against what I started the year with. I said South Marine Diamond Creek, and there's no reason to change it.
Well, I said Creek would win the flag, so I'd look like a mug if I tipped Whittlesea, but I think both sides are pretty equal.
Yeah.
Good news for the Creekers is they should get back Nathan Searle, their skipper, next week as well, and he certainly bolsters not only morale but skill out on the ground. So, all right, we're in agreement on that way. Let's get down to Divi 3. The big grand final. Before you tell me, let's do the 19s first. McLeod versus Banyule. McLeod finished first. Banyule finished third. That'll be the 19s grand final. And the reserves will be Mernda, who finished third, against Kilmore, who finished first. So they will be big games. Yeah, well, I think Kilmore and McLeod for me will be the two victorious people. And that looks a bit easy tipping the top side, but Mernda did knock them off. So I think it could go either way. Weather's going to be really definitive. If it was as windy as it was today, Bonners, jeepers creepers, it's tough. But let's get to the big one. Let's get to the big one, big fella. Old Paradians versus Fitzroy Stars. We're going to try and get some of the boys to the show Wednesday night. We're going to do our best. I understand it's a busy week, so they might get house arrested. But that's a huge grand final and very hard to split. I'm pretty confident you're going to tell me you'll go on the Stars.
Well, it's there's nothing from my preseason that's told me otherwise. They had the week off. They beat Old Paradians, and Old Paradians were rampant last week. Came home with a massive wet sail, but I've said from the start, I saw a club that's primed for a premiership. And to me, look, speaking to Kane last week, seeing the boys, watching just following the Fitzroy Stars on Facebook, I feel like this is what they've primed themselves for. You get the opportunity, and I think they'll take it.
Bonners, I disagree with you. I think OPs will win. I think it'll be close. If Kane sends me in anything, I'm just going to block him. But I think both sides are absolutely outstanding. I just have a gut feeling that Old Paradians get this done. It'll be a close grand final. I will be there. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting down there as well.
Yeah, well, can you stand on the other side of the ground? I don't really like you that much, but
if they start a brawl in the crowd, I want you to be the first one I hit. So.
Well, if there's a brawl in the crowd, because I sent them over to you to begin with. Although we could probably hit you in the nose from the other side of the ground.
Yeah,
anyway, but no, I think that's a good one. Now, Super Coach Pete Westbury, Bonners. I know your love for Westy. We love him. He hasn't got back to me whether he's coming to the grand final show on one of the VIP tickets, which is right up the back, Westy, by the way. His advice for the Diamond Creek Whittlesea game is to beat the crap out of each other. A couple of suspensions probably wouldn't hurt, would it, Westy? That'd suit you just fine. I'm not. I'm glad I won't be near Jules when we do that tip. That's going to be a big grand final in its own right, because both sides all three that are left are amazing. And we've said that all season. They're the three all seasons.
Yeah, there's a big rift between 3 and 4. But as I said, like, whoever doesn't make the grand final is just stiff because the competition's that good this year. So same as Mernda missing out, just stiff because, it's the best comps we've had for a long, long time. So, yeah, it's amazing.
Now, we'll get this message out the best we can on social media. So on the night at our show, there's no food. So everyone just eat before you get there. But you're more than welcome to bring your own little platter of food for your table. I know like Jules set up her table, etc. You guys are more than welcome to do that. The bar will be open. Kingy's ensuring the bar's open, so you can have a beer, you can have a soft drink, you can have a wine, you can have a water. Great facilities down at Bundoora, as you can testify, for plenty of parking, so no dramas there. And we've got about 130 there on the night, and it's going to be great, a fantastic night. So it kicks off sharp at I think 7:30 we said, but we want to get there about 6:45, be seated, ready to go for the live music opening spot on 7:30. And Bonners, it isn't live, it's just way too hard to do a live broadcast on that night. We have so much
to keep the prestige as well. Like, you get the video, people can watch it, but we want to be about not worry about the actual live and whether the internet works. For me, it's about having some fun with everyone. Everyone will get to see it, and then, hopefully next year they'll have the opportunity to come.
Yep, and we've added a couple of umpires to the team of yesteryear, and
you have.
And
I hated them all.
What's that? Yep, I know. And we've got our big call for who wins that one at the end. So it's been fantastic, Bonners. It was a huge week of footy. You got anything else to add before we wrap up?
No, look, I'm actually a little disappointed it's going to come to an end. So I've just enjoyed every minute of this year's all 3 competitions, but. I just think it's been fantastic, and being able to be back into it, doing the show, I think has been awesome.
I think, and we'll speak about this a little bit, I guess. Don't you go getting emotional on me either and giving me cuddles on after the show. But I think it's been a huge year, and I agree with you. The amount of people that engage with us is fantastic. I was at Preston the other day, and so many people come and spoke to me about the show, and it's, and how many people love it. And, I spoke to so many of these legends from the superstars and the Today's side, and you will be amazed how many of those have joined Facebook to watch the show under dodgy profiles because they love it.
I told you about Robbo, didn't I? Trev Robertson tried to do that, and then he had all these friend requests and didn't want to do it. So he's trying to find another way to watch it.
There's YouTube. You can go anonymously on YouTube as well. But we hit 2 million views last week, which is amazing. We were sitting on 55,000 views for the month on the 24th or 25th of last month. We ended up on 91,000. So if you reckon people aren't interested in finals, you're dreaming. And we've had over 1 million photo views this year. So it's been, the support's amazing.
30,000 was?
What's that?
A picture of you as Shrek. I think probably got people up to the 90. I know I looked at it 50 times. So
I've had so many people tell me that the sloth was spot on. The sloth.
I reckon now it was because of the beard, but I think Shrek was there. But
I'm going to get a trim before Wednesday, Bonners. So anyway, all good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining in on a Sunday night. Short show because there's not as many games to cover, but huge show Wednesday. To everyone that's coming Wednesday, be there by 6:45. Come and have a beer. Meet some of these superstar legends of yesteryear and today. There's so many great footballers there. Go and see Ray Shaw and Heaters and all these guys. They're just amazing people going to be at the show. I can't wait, Bonners. And until Wednesday night, keep